All right, thank you so much, Dylan. And I gotta agree with that after watching that game one. I'm not changing my prediction. I see ISU taking that one, but that was a wild way to start, Rude.
It was a very exciting start to finish. Honestly, we had skirmishes from I think like level 3, level 4 onwards, and you know they touched it perfectly on the desk. It was an object permanence diff for the first couple ganks, unfortunately. But then it didn't stop. All the action just kept on going, right? We got those 2 kills down in the bot lane. We had to have a replay for what happened on the top side. So I think that, you know, coming into game number 2, if we can get the same level of action, you're going to be happy as the play-by-play. I'm going to be happy trying to break different things down at the speed of light. There's surely no way this series continues to excel in this way.
All that I'm wondering right now is how does this change? I want to see the draft of Illinois State change specifically in their bans. I wouldn't mind a Z ban if they leave up Rengar or Heimerdinger. I want to see what UT Austin will do with that haphazard bot lane that they like to bring out.
Let's ban something that we won against and bring out something that we know they're really good at. That seems like the S tier move.
That's the play. That's the play, man. That's the play.
This is on brand for them, right? They like to int a little bit. Why don't we just bring that forward a little bit? Why don't we just bring the draft a little bit worse for us and give them a slightly better pick? It actually made me laugh quite a lot that they banned away the Senna and the Heimer. That made me laugh because we know that they pair those together, and they were like, okay, you might have fasting Jinx in your locker somewhere. We do not want this Heimerdinger farming down in the bot lane. There is no chance any of that is coming to fruition. But yeah, I think that whatever we get, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I want to see Heimer in the bottom lane. There's a couple champions I want to see from UT Austin because they are the ones who are most likely to play this. Yorick is another one. I'm still waiting for that Yorick pick to come through so I can call Ravish mid-cast and be like, they finally picked him, brother. They finally grabbed him. So we'll see what else they're going to grab. As side selection is going to stay the same for this one, Rude.
As it would have, yeah, it certainly is. And from blue side, then what we saw from ISU was, as I say, Senaheimer, and then they also got rid of the Rengar. So if they can continue with that, I think that if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? That's the general mentality that teams tend to go for. I imagine those are going to be the same 3 bans. UT Austin, it's a question of what do they want to get rid of. Do they get rid of the Viktor that DrewDozer was so happy to blind pick, and that their you know, touted answer of Cry Now Zed wasn't enough to carry them through the game? Or do they say, hey, if we do something a little bit different, maybe we've got a different pick locked and loaded to go in the jungle, that we can make a difference that time? Okay,
so far the bans are the same. I'm starting to get a little sad now. I'm feeling my mood drop.
You know what they say, variety is the spice of life, and right now we're eating a korma.
Come on. Don't ban Heimer, ban Zed. Let UT be able to grab the Heimer for a change. This is a change right here. So Nautilus got banned away. We're getting the Zed ban. We're getting it, Rude. We're getting it. Getting it. Come on.
Pause.
Ban it.
Pause, champ. Pause, champ.
ISU, just burn it. Burn it. You know Crynout's good at it. Don't let him play it anymore. That was the early... let me...
Absolutely ruined. You lost a fan today, ISU. I hope you know. You lost a fan.
I was buying a jersey after this one. No more. No more.
True. Well, now they've got we have to see what the third ban from UT Austin is. Maybe they ban away the Zed. Or even bigger brain, maybe DrewDozer blinds the Zed. How about that? On blue side.
Blinds it on blue side. At the same time, we haven't had a Jinx ban or a Xayah. Oh, there's the Jinx going through. So Xayah is on the table for the side of ISU if they do want to opt into taking that one, but let's see if they do it. Let's see. Just B1Z. B1Z. Let's just screw the analytics. Let's throw it all out the window. Let's go for the meme. Oh, God.
Are they listening? Hello? Where's the delay? Please. Production? Did you forget to factor
There's not enough delay in this one.
Wow.
It was totally for the BM. That was definitely just flexing on Cry Now as Xayah gets locked in for ISU.
Unsurprisingly, right, ultimately, as much as we are having a good time here, these teams do want to win, so that they are going to go for the most optimal strategy, and Xayah got banned away in game 1 for a reason. Yen going to be able to take that one quite handily down into the bot lane. Very safe, very annoying as well to play against with this lethality style build that we do tend to see these days. Q plus E can take away half your HP if you've got no armor. But there is an answer, difference, a variation coming through from UT Austin, and I love to see that when you take one thing away. Nice to see that what you're leaving up, you have an answer to. Misfortune, going to try and go toe-to-toe in the laning phase.
All right, so MF locked in. And, ooh, this is a spicy one I've been waiting for a little bit. The Monkey King getting locked in on the side of UT Austin. So this is a fun one because, one, you know, it's kind of the iconic weak side top laner. But the other side of things is it has been recently buffed in the jungle role. So we might be able to see it there. It is a flex pick.
Okay, and now, well, now they get to choose. Now they're like, huh, do we want to flex this? Because we see what we're going up against top. We see what we're going up against jungle. ISU, they just say, hey, we will blind pick the Gragas, no holds barred. We're quite happy to take that, and I'm very happy with Gragas as a blind pick as well for top lane. I think it's incredibly safe, incredibly secure. And with the, well, it's not even a blind pick, is it? If they're trying to think it's into the Wukong, it's a pseudo blind pick here. But Crynow this time is going to say, haha, we will play the Viktor, that powerful champion that you bested us with in game number 1. And maybe they ban away the Zed on ban phase 2.
If Zed's not on the table, and well, Zed was on the, we want to grab it. It's the second best champion for Crynow to be on this Viktor. So he's going from another comfort to a different comfort. He will have his mid lane locked in, and at the same time, UT Austin, after locking in that mid lane, are going to start targeting the mid lane with their bans as they take away the Vygar.
And it looks like here that they are set to believe UT Austin are playing this Wukong in the jungle. They've already thrown one ban at that top lane regardless, with the Fiora off the table from Yone, and his Gwen performance certainly left me thinking that he'd be more than capable of pulling out something like the Fiora. Potentially Camille hits the ban table as well here if we're going along the same line, but they're going to just do a 1-for-1, it looks like, with their bans. Go, hey, we'll match you as well. Say that if you're going to go one solo, one support, we'll match you in that. With the Rakan taken away, it does limit the engage potential from ISU, something that their composition not necessarily lacking, but would have been lovely to have that Rakan as follow-up.
Man, I'm dying to see where this Wukong is going to go. I've seen a couple of posts now on the creative gank pathings you can do with Wukong. Ooh, the lock-in of the Maokai can potentially be in the support role or the top side. We still got a lot of flexing that's going on for UT Austin.
I have no idea. Like, I'm just sat here, I can theoretically put all of these pieces in different places and think, that would work. The only thing I'm pretty certain of is that Misfortune is in the bot lane in some capacity. There's still a possibility that this is... well, don't do that to me. There's still a possibility this is like AP Misfortune support or something to just match poke with poke. Looks like the engage train has been matched though by ISU. They saw a Rakan band and thought, hey, we'll just take the better engager, essentially going for Leona, the one that they'd value in that matchup. And at this point, Decerux, if they hover Zed, I'm looking, because they'd never do it. But that's a worthy substitute. I'll take that, honestly. Yone getting locked in, that's the spice levels being elevated.
All right, so Yone locked in for ISU. Now we're just waiting for that final response. They've just been teasing it. Both sides have been teasing the Zed pick over again.
No,
Bring
wait,
Rebel
no,
back.
no, no,
Bring Rebel back. Bring Rebel back real quick. We just got an Illaoi locked in once again.
I'm out, guys. Rebel. It was a pleasure, everybody. Okay, right. It is Maokai support to try and really double down on this poke. I think that the only reason you're taking Maokai support is to go Arcane Comet, control bushes, which is something that you're going to have to see from level 1, I think, with this composition. If UT Austin don't at least 5-man stack, and I say at least 5-man stack, like you can do more, if they can go for that 5-stack, control these bot brushes, it is something that is sort of really important to the way that a Maokai support wants to play his laning phase, because you throw the saplings in, you control the lane, and you just become an incredibly annoying presence to try and deal with, because if you face check, you take 100, 200, 300 health, depending on, the rune choices, the items, where we are in the game. Because you remember back in, was it Season 10 when he first got reworked and AP items got changed? That Maokai, AP Maokai support was just topping damage charts everywhere. That can still sort of exist with the way that the damage over time items work in the game right now. We could very easily see Just Chatting have a very high damage game.
Now, focusing away from the bot lane, going back to the jungle, because the Wukong, the Monkey King, is locked in. I want to see how this is going to play out. This is the most exciting thing for me. I talked about the jungle paths you can take. They can get so creative. Once you hit level 6, the gank tools that you have are just so insurmountable to have to deal with. Wukong can be such a hard thing for any team to have to deal with. It's going to take a lot of tracking, but what I do like from ISU is the amount of engage they have. They can really force fights when it comes to mid-game.
Yeah, literally 4 out of 5 people can force a fight, right? Wind Business Lightning is the best way for GFP to try and start a fight using the Audacious Charge after, and I mean, Leona, Yone, Gragas need no introduction as to how they can find their own engage, and on top of that, Yen, exceptionally good at finding his own disengage, so when you look at things like Twisted Advance, like Cyclone, and even like the Bullet Time, which are going to be those leading cooldowns that Yen needs to be away from, you can use your Featherstorm to get away from that and find a lot of space, buy yourself some extra time, apply that slow across a team fight as well. Because it looks like what UT have drafted for themselves is that 4-1 style that can be probably very easily matched with ISU. Because Yone and Illaoi, 2 champions that exceed very much in those side lanes, but can also be very well versed in a team fight if it's a short-range composition. You talked about all of the engage that ISU have tends to lean towards more short-range styles. It's exactly what an Illaoi loves. She loves champions to fly into her so that when they come in, leap of faith, 5-man ults, and just demolition occurs.
I am noticing that on UT Austin's composition. It is a brutal comp to engage into. If any lockdown comes whatsoever, it's not just the zone control that you get from the Maokai ultimate, from the Viktor gravitational field, from the Illaoi you just mentioned, but you got a bullet time and a cyclone going off at the same time. This is a lot. This is a lot to go off at once for these team fights in the later stages if you're getting engaged into.
It's like you look at the comps and you think, well, they've got 2 really good split pushers, one on either side. And then you think, but they can team fight exceptionally well, even if they come into the team fights, right? Like the other 4 pieces all want to throw down at any given opportunity. So this game, I mean, I think that it promises more action. I don't want to, beat about the bush and say that this could be one. If we don't have more kills than minutes in the game, I think we've been let down by the teams, honestly.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say right now. All right. When do we have more kills than minutes? Let's do a bet right now, me and you.
7 minutes.
I was going to say 7, actually.
Ooh. Do you want to go over or under?
I'll go over.
Okay, so you have 8+, I have 7 minus.
All right. This is what we're going to be tracking for the game.
No, we're not tracking Disconnector.
Server, we're not tracking Disconnector. We're not looking at the top side yet. We'll get there eventually. There's going to be more chaos. We got to look at the Monkey King. He's in the jungle. Come on, Observer. Bring it over. Show me the Wukong. That's not the Wukong. No.
We're getting trolled.
No, we're getting trolled by Observer.
What happens if we troll production back and just don't talk? Do you think how do they feel then? We just let the game play in dead silence, and then you see they show the Wukong the mere threat of that, and they're like, oh god, okay, casters are being they're being snobs, give them what they want.
Just becomes a salty Teemo stream.
True. So I mean, that's flaming the players a little bit.
Okay. We won't go that far. But now, with this Wukong locked into the jungle role, I'm going to be watching the pathing very closely. I don't expect them to put too much attention towards the top side. I do expect this to be focused in the mid lane once again from both of these squads. If you can stop the potential of this Yone, go for it. Get that level 6. So much crowd control to really lock him down. Of course, the presence in the bot lane is something to keep an eye on for YellowBumbleBee in selecting which lane he's going to target.
Yeah, and I think that Yone's weakest part is this early game. The unfortunate scenario for UT Austin is that also tends to be Viktor's weakest part, so trying to get anything is quite hard. But look at the jungle from GFP right now. He's gone red-blue, instantly up to the top lane. There's nothing there to find in the top-side jungle, so he is looking for a gank. Illaoi, a champion that you tend never to want to gank, is now getting harassed.
Level 2 gank coming out of GFP. It is going to force the flash out, so that gets burned out of Yone. GFP, successful gank on the bottom side.
Misfortune Maokai have got push in bot lane. You can see that YellowBumbleBee's now, pushing into his own bot jungle to clear it up. It was an incredibly costly gank for GFP to go for. He doesn't look like he's going to lose anything on his bot side, but he spends so much time doing this, and we saw it on the flip side from game number 1, where it was actually YellowBumbleBee who, again, went for this full clear into full clear style.
Here we go, an engage coming out with the Zenith Blade. A lot of damage onto Nausicääa, who's starting to regret this engage. Just chatting, takes a little bit of punishment, but Nausicääa is the one who is bleeding.
Yeah, and Time Warp Tonic actually, I think, doing a bit of work there as keeping Nausicääa not necessarily alive, but getting that little extra boost prevents any unfortunate circumstances occurring. YellowBumbleBee obviously continuing to find these clears. Currently 2 camps up over GFP. There's going to be a trade of crabs, which tends to be fairly standard. But look at this mid lane. Cry now pushing his wave in. DrewDozer, he can stack up Nado on these minions, and they can try and make a play on this. As Cry now doesn't have the most mana, probably enough to get away. No phase rush, no defensive summoner spell on the secondary. It is TP. Waiting for DrewDozer's tornado, and then they're likely to go for it.
It's a lot of time being spent right here. And no engage coming out. Cry now. Ooh, nothing going to be found. So GFP, this is a lot committed. Does get the 3 Talon Strike. So finds a knockup on the Cry now. Not going to get his summoner spell out of it. But this is a lot of time committed on very aggressive pathings that aren't exactly bringing results yet.
And he's already pinging his way back up to topside. Remember, Illaoi has no flash at present. There's a good ward in Tri-Brush to stop the Xin Zhao from getting there. And YellowBumbleBee also just much further ahead of the curve, has already gone back to base, picked up that Xin, and back out onto the map, clearing his second set of camps. Actually working on going for a top-sided play, whether this is a dive onto Disconnector or just shadowing for the gank to come through. Showing a bit of presence here in the early stages before this Wukong hits level 6, before that true power spike comes through. Not necessarily what we would have imagined from this player.
And a very slow clear coming out from GFP, only now getting towards his bottom camps. Not even going for the bottom camps, he's going for more aggressive plays. He wants to find a gank in the bot lane. So
aggressive that Nausicääa just flashed on the spot. Absolute intimidation factor.
I actually completely missed that. I just noticed the summoners fell down. I was watching the mini-map and GFP coming in. Oh, here we go. On to just chatting.
There's no way.
Shield of Daybreak. Stun's there. Followed it up a little bit earlier. There's a slight chance, but it was really rough.
I was thinking, if they get something here, UT Austin, they made a big fumble. Now, fortunately, it's one stun and out, and nothing else particularly comes from this. So there's no big fumble in that case. But with the slow pace here of this level 1, I, for one, I'm feeling pretty poor about my placement on the kills to minutes ratio.
Me too.
Well, you've got over. You're fine. The issue with our bet was that we assumed that it would happen, and at this rate, it just may never happen.
I mean, it might make me a little bit more fine, but I want a bloodbath with this composition drafted. I'm not looking for this game to be slow. I was expecting the tempo. I was expecting the gas pedal to be pressed. Right now, 6 minutes into this, yet to get to that stage. Lots of aggressive ganks, but no one to fall yet. I'm going after the Observer.
Finish the soul.
After this game. This is a game.
Who are they? Give me their name.
Yes. We'll find you, Mr. Observer.
I mean, they're clearly a Gragas one trick. Whoever they are. Well, the point of focusing on this top lane, I suppose, for the time being, is that it was honestly the only place with any real trades going on. Because everywhere down on this bot side is going to be a lot of long-range harassment and not a lot else. You can see that Cry now is buying a lot of space with his positioning as well versus DrewDozer. Doesn't really want to get anywhere near this Yone, which is completely conceivable and a very real strategy to success. As Nausicääa, trouble.
Yeah, doesn't have flash either. Dragon going to be aggroed. You're still walking to the wandering arms of Naas. Zenith Blade going to be used. This is an interesting path. Heal was popped. Nausicääa should still be dead to rights thanks to the... Yep, there it is. The snare coming out from just chatting. First blood finally picked up, and kind of an anticlimactic first blood, all things considered. Here comes the ultimate of Yone over in the top side. Pop it on the Disconnector. No one's going to fall. Leap of faith being used. But again, first blood coming out.
He died!
Oh my goodness. They died.
Gragas one trick. What are you watching?
What is going on? UT Austin, first 2 kills of the game, suddenly coming out of nowhere 7 minutes.
Deja vu. It's only 2 kills this time, but 1 bot lane, 1 top laners. Yone, I don't know how, because Disconnector was out. I guess it was just a queue into a Eye of Testament proc coming through, right? If you kill the soul and then you get a random tentacle spawning, DrewDozer flashed. Ooh.
Trying with that ultimate, but now he's in no man's land. Cry now over the wall, doesn't get the stun. Now, taking a look at what happened earlier with that engage.
So at this point, right, Disconnector's like, oh, I'm doing so well. I'm actually about to kill the Illaoi. Oh, wait, no, never mind.
Okay, here it is.
So 300 HP, slapped by 1, slapped by 2, slapped by 3. Oh, it's disgusting. Oh, it's disgusting.
Oh, no! That is brutal, bro. No, not like that. Disconnect. Don't put the camera on him after the replay. Go to a different lane.
Yone literally sat there and went, Tentacles, do your worst. And they did the absolute worst. They managed to find, 3 consecutive hits. They were enough to take him down. And I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be like that. I was expecting some cooldown to have been expended by Yone, but he was just sat there like, hey, Gragas is pretty low top lane. Oh, wait, I didn't do anything, and Gragas is dead.
Yeah, he just let League of Legends play itself, and he got a win off of it. My God.
It's like playing Zoe. It's like playing Zoe, missing all your skill shots, and then just letting your W kill them.
Illinois State University trying to get something into their pocket. They will grab the Rift Herald. DrewDozer still focusing in this mid lane, so heavily shoving in these waves. Now you're going to see GFP head into this area as the waves have been shoved in. Will not go for a gank just yet. Still be a while before we get another Drake. Actually, no, Drake is up right now. I don't know why that slipped through my mind, but getting control will be Illinois State University towards the river.
It's because this game had been so unimpactful for the first few minutes.
Yeah.
We assumed that somebody had done something and, you know, taken the dragon, but nevertheless, we have got this. True. We need the tentacles to come bot lane and start trying to help out and secure some objectives for UT Austin. But when we talk about that, right, Illaoi, not your typical team fight grouping style champion, right? You can see in the item build, opting for that hull breaker, and you can see just being incredibly obnoxious.
Oh, leap of faith dive underneath the tower. Poor Disconnector.
Can you dodge it? Dodge it!
He has to dodge. No.
He doesn't get it!
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? What?
Guys!
What is the top lane? What is going on, Rude? I can't process this.
League of Legends is difficult, man. Cleanse.
So Flare in the bot lane, a great cleanse coming in, but there's a flash with the Shield of Daybreak just chatting, trying to get away, but Nuclear will still sweep up that kill. Now the Monkey King coming over the wall, looking to bring the engage. Half health for pretty much everyone on ISU in the bottom lane, but you don't have too many tools to really take this fight, so the Monkey King, YellowBumbleBee, just going to back out. Where is he?
Nuclear still had the, he still has the Feather Storm, so they do need to be careful. And of course, GFP still there. I've just been told what we're going to look at.
Okay.
Do we have to do this to them again? Yone, okay, this is nice Illaoi play, right? Recognizes he can go for the kill on Disconnector, who flashes out to safety. And then Disconnector can't quite dodge that tentacle. And because the tentacle slams when Yone is under turret, he's dropped aggro, goes back in, Disconnector dies, he re-gets aggro. And then Yone dies as well.
I love League of Legends.
I see why Rebel loves Illaoi, honestly.
Yeah.
This has been a banger early game from top lane exclusively.
It's one of the tricky things too. When you don't see a champion that often, you don't know how to play against it that well. And Yone is showing that, hey, Illaoi's been out of the meta for a while, but you got to start keeping eyes on her.
If I can give one tip to people playing up against Illaoi, it's dodge the E. That's the only advice that you need. Dodge the E and you're fine.
GFP trying to set up a play. Audacious charge with the 3 talent strike. Gets the knock-up followed up by DrewDozer, but they can't finish off just chatting. 30 health remains and he will walk away.
It's a refillable diff right there. Pops the potion and actually stays alive. GFP, a little bit overzealous there with his positioning, but crying out just barely not having the ulti. Doesn't find it. Another fight.
What is this? What is going on right now? Nausicääa now fighting with YellowBumbleBee. DrewDozer waiting in the wings. Here comes the Solar Flare. Cyclone comes out. DrewDozer has to walk into it. DrewDozer's gonna go down. It's a double kill for Cry now.
A really good play from UT Austin. You know, all of these plays that we're seeing are stacking up. UT Austin having a very good time of things for the most part. Getting themselves 5-2 kills. That first dragon on the board. You can see top lane plates are very heavily in favor of Yone. He's got that completed hull breaker. Disconnector has got absolutely nothing to say about this top lane matchup right now. There is simply no way that he can contest this. He's got TP up, so likely not going to lose the entire turret, but maybe an extra plate as well. UT Austin, this was a game that they needed to win, and right now, they're doing it.
Oh,
really nice.
Yeah, this is just brutal for Disconnector. Yone is punishing, and now underneath the tower, still looking for more. Oh God, Disconnector, he's not allowed to play the game today. You're gonna get smacked one more time by another tentacle. No, please use the E. Please use the E. Oh my God, Disconnector's. Oh my.
He's learning though. He's learning. He dodged those.
So many landmines. He's trying to dodge each and every one. Yone's so close to taking this tower. Oh, he's gonna do it, isn't he?
Well.
Don't dunk the boy. Don't dunk the boy. Thank you.
Look at the minimap though. Look at the minimap. DrewDozer's roaming up. GFP ready.
Get the camera in a different place. I can't take it anymore. That works.
It's a lot.
That works.
That'll do. That's good enough. There's a lot of tension being built up around this game because it feels like at any point ISU could just find a fight and suddenly turn the tides back in their favor. But equally, if this game continues to snowball the way it is, we've already seen what an Illaoi can do. And Yone right now, who got 5 plates solo plus first brick solo, is working toward his second item already.
Disgusting. Now Illinois State University trying to respond to everything that UT Austin's doing. But UT Austin have just been too fast, too furious. 14 minutes into this, they've grabbed up so much when it comes to income, just heavily off of Yone on that top side. He's been able to grab those turret plates, the first break you were mentioning earlier. Doing well is Naas on this bottom side, who has picked up a kill, and Cry now, who has picked up 2 over in the mid lane. This is a great start for UT Austin.
incredible. Again, I have to touch on this top lane because it is where we've seen the biggest advantage drawn. He's almost at mythic item when you took a 2,800 pit stop off at Hullbreaker. This is an incredibly accelerated Illaoi.
That cleanse is too clutch. Nausicääa landing these solar flares right on the money, but Naas doesn't care. Brought the summoner spell for a reason.
And Rebel touched on this in the game that he got to cast the Illaoi, but this is a champion that requires resources to be shown. If you don't show them, then Yone is just going to be free to continue doing this, right? There's no difference between the tier 1 and tier 2 for an Illaoi. She doesn't mind if she, gets free access to either one of those turrets. And with those resources needing to be expended, it means that DrewDozer either has to move over to the top side and then gives Crynow some time.
Oh, there comes the knockup out of DrewDozer. We'll get the 1v1 shutdown in the mid lane. We got something going for the side of Illinois State University. It's not just the first kill for DrewDozer. Shutdown on top of it, so nice influx of money for the mid laner of ISU.
Really needed, honestly. That is going to come as a welcome surprise for them that they can just pick up a quick solo kill there. Crynow has got, had stopwatch, had flashed to get away, but not dodging that knockup. And DrewDozer, just knowing the limits of the champion here on the Yone, having a good time, gets that solo kill in the mid lane and may well be able to take the turret as well.
Going right after the turret, just chatting, trying to interfere with this. Nausicääa hops in, YellowBumbleBee is also there. Nausicääa's just going to commit to the tower. Solo
Leona,
take it down. No, one more auto. Finally, okay, it goes through. That would have been so sad. That would have been just so depressing to watch that fall.
They get a Herald on the flip side. Looks like it's going to be a Herald for Drake trade here. GFP taking the base, and with your Leona dead means there's not really a contest to be had. And whilst you're getting a dragon on the bot side and charging, severe amounts of damage on this top side tier 2, we just need to wait and make sure that Yone is being careful, being cognizant of what his team is doing. They are showing a lot of pressure on the bot side right now. Naas can feel free to go for this Drake, or feel free to go for this turret. Now we got the challenge, 3v1, who wins?
3v1 Letha, Faith is being popped, and it's going to decimate the clone of DrewDozer. DrewDozer taking more damage just walking through the tentacles. And look at that, Yone walks out, no problem, not even a sweat.
Just a flash expended and the ultimate as well, so there's now that little bit of time where you do need to be careful. They look like they went for a dive onto Nuclear. Had to burn the Featherstone, but that's a cooldown that Xayahs are willing to expend if it saves their life. And overall, good players on both sides, I'll say. Illinois State, they get the turret in the mid lane, they get a solo kill from DrewDozer onto Crynow, and then they get the Rift Tower off the back of that. UT Austin, they respond, they get themselves the Drake, bot lane tier 1 turret. Influx of gold going into the Misfortune, certainly going to be well felt because this is lethality MF as well. It means that if that ultimate comes through and you get just the one perfect team fight, you're just going to rain damage down and quite literally murder everyone.
17 minutes in, Hullbreaker and Trinity Force grabbing a longsword, a couple of other accessories alongside with that. Yone is so powerful. I want to see the gold income that Yone has picked up so far over on this top side, because you were mentioning it earlier, a first brick picked up by Yone, all the plates going over to Yone, the kills earlier, 2 picked up, so many solo underneath the tower. This gold has to be insurmountable.
Crynow, Zonya's well played, good timing on the stopwatch there, and mid lane.
Ooh, a nice engage. Disconnector grabs a kill. Much needed one after all the suffering he's gotten over on that top side. But there is the blade color. Nuclear will find the root, and 2 kills now picked up for ISU.
And again, this is what I was saying. It just feels like ISU at a certain point are going to flip the switch and decide that they want to find some kills. Now GFP's doing the same on Crynow.
Needs the wind becomes lightning to follow it up with the Audacious Shark. 3 Talon Strike is found, and it's a kill in the bottom lane. Suddenly, Illinois State University, they stop looking at that top side. They look at every other lane, and that is where they're finding their success.
And that's the exact way to play against somebody that you don't want to try and fight. You can see Disconnector as well here.
Oh no, Disconnector. Underneath the tower, Leap of Faith gets popped! And so does Disconnector.
I don't know what this champion does. That was insane.
Kill.
Tower dives under tier 3, right? The turret tier doesn't make a difference, but it's the bravado to go for that and say, yeah, you're a Gragas, and what? I have these items that enable me to do pretty much everything. It's on a ward here, so...
DrewDozer getting knocked up by the Cyclone, just chatting, will join the fight. Exhaust is being burnt, but So is DrewDozer. Not enough regen to survive that one. He will fall as UT Austin take a play in the bot side.
Kill goes over to the Maokai. Ultimately not the best place for it to go. And this is tank Maokai looks like working towards the Dead Man's Plate as a first item, which, you know, trying to facilitate that engage makes a lot of sense. Will help if you're trying to, you know, lock down DrewDozer or lock down Nuclear in these engaged scenarios. But we need to keep our eyes on where Yone looks to focus himself, because he's continually going to the top lane, continually finding these turrets, finding these dives, finding kills onto the Gragas, onto, you know, whoever it is that dares to try challenge him. So far, he's only gotten turrets outside the base, and at 19-20 minutes into the game, those are about as much as you can afford to expend as ISU. They've done pretty good damage control as far as all things go. You know, giving over 3 kills, maybe not the best thing, but they still have their base intact. But this is the start of the point of the game where we're starting to see these trades be made, where ISU go, well, we'll kill your entire bot side in exchange for letting Illaoi do what they want.
Yeah. That's the ISU classic, really. Once they get towards this 20-minute stage, it's like, all right, inting time has ended. Let's do effective trades. Let's team fight. Let's actually come online as a squad. Strangely enough, it sounds kind of troll. It's a weird way to put it, but it is how ISU has played.
As far as archetypes go, you know what?
Yeah,
we've hit the nail on the head.
You heard it on the analyst desk. Into a little bit before you take the dub.
Exactly. Have a little fun with your game of League of Legends, right? This is at last supposed to be a fun game. That's why we all play it. Maybe it doesn't have that reputation the entire time, but ISU, they certainly try and make the most of it for the most part. Nuclear is, unfortunately, right, playing Xayah. He's 2-0-2, which is a, you know, fairly staple scoreline for ADCs as far as they go. But for the most part, feels like he's just been on mid lane ping pong duty, and I feel for ADCs in this situation, because it feels like that's all that they've really been doing.
Waiting for a play. On to just chatting, able to catch him out. Here comes the solar flare, a lot of damage onto the support Maokai. Not enough to finish him off just yet, but there is the bullet time being returned. Now another Zenith Blade onto Karai now, just chatting so low, but Naas is able to grab one. It's a 1-for-1 trade thus far. Nuclear on the back line. DrewDozer still waiting over by the river. Look at the inhibitor. Meanwhile, focus over here of trade coming out, but it's a 1-for-1.
Yeah, one more wave on that top side, and UT Austin are probably going to be able to get themselves the inhibitor turret if they don't do something about it. Looks like ISU get themselves the dragon. That's fine. That was to be expected in this situation. The question is, do they expend resources to go back? Looks like with Nausicääa's respawn timer and just a bit of a lack of information about where people were on the rift, Yone has to go back to base and has to cut his losses there and say, you know what, I've put a good chunk down, a good set of chip damage in. Team, we get another one of those and I can maybe break an inhib.
We don't call it cutting your losses, we call it cutting your wins.
True.
This is something I actually heard from Really Big Meme from RBM. It's like, if we cut our wins, bro, we still would have made it. Yeah,
that's true. I remember that one. That was that's honestly a good call, honestly, because he did get a win. You know those little chips on the turrets, when you so infrequently get access to turrets, those are wins. But they've got at this mid game, right, where currently UT Austin have more gold, but the momentum and the tempo of things has really been going the way of ISU, right? The recent plays are certainly in their favor, and I dare say that if we toggled the gold, just chatting's dead, surely.
Yeah, wrong place to be. Caught up. There's the stun lock that you always get from that Leona. So beautiful. DrewDozer grabbing that kill. His 3rd kill of the game. Mind, he does have his Immortal Shield Bow and his Infinity Edge working on that Zeal item. But Yeoun is now working over on this bottom side. Another tower goes down. ISU going to focus on the Baron.
And maybe this is that time where Illaoi's commit the cardinal sin and group, heaven forbid, when the Baron is about to go down. This is that do or die moment for ISU. If they can get this freely, they're going to be fine. But Viktor, Wukong, this is a powerful teamfight duo. Misfortune can come from mid lane as well.
Ooh, able to get the knock-up onto Cry now. Cry now forced to go gold, and YellowBumbleBee not even popping the Cyclone just yet. Finally able to get it at the back end of the team fight. Look at the flight coming in from Naas, able to throw down the bullet time and clean up this fight for UT Austin. Looking for GFP. He will jump onto YellowBumbleBee, but Naas gets the double kill. Now Disconnector and DrewDozer join the fight, join the fray, but there is someone you don't want to mess with, as the Illaoi will meet the match. Now Disconnector just watching the Baron go down on the side of UT Austin.
A 3-for-1, and Illinois State They need to try and find if they can get this Baron back by any means. DrewDozer's got teleport. He can come back to the ward, and it looks like they're going to go for maybe another fight here, just trying to whittle away at just chatting.
For it. He's trying to pop the ultimate. He's trying to go after Yeoun. Yeoun is able to back up in time, though DrewDozer will not finish off the top laner of UT Austin, but the defense is there from ISU. He fumbled a little bit around this Baron, but they were able to recover.
And there we go. The grouping Illaoi makes a play happen and, you know, prevents the Baron from going over. Really good flank play from Naas, weirdly enough, of all people. The AD carry coming in from that bot side of the river to make the bullet time come through and have a really cohesive team fight with YellowBumbleBee. It's something that we touched on in draft. We haven't particularly got to see it just yet, with Naas and the Cyclone starting to, you know, synergize nicely with one another. And that was without pretty much any sort of setup from the Maokai, as well as DrewDozer is extending a little bit forward, but when you have Souls Unbound, you always have that safety feature at least built in.
Yeah. And
there's as well a nice little mechanic that you can do, where you're trying to bait the Maokai, right? You go forward as the Yone, and then you're like, oh, root me before I can go back. And if you time it right, you can pull the Maokai all the way back into your team, and when he's on a support income, that's just a free kill.
See if you can bop that. Love to see that. I felt the pain of that. Trying to remember when. I've had a moment like this happen where I've Maokai'd way too deep, all because of some mobility skill. But speaking of, YellowBumbleBee over the wall, gonna try and get the blade color. Out comes the solar flare. Will not lock down YellowBumbleBee, but it stops him from getting onto nuclear.
Yeah, if he goes forward to, you know, try and find that knockup, does get stunned, so avoids the stun, but avoids finding any more damage onto Nuclear, who just has to use heal, use the Feather Storm as well, once again stays alive, as Disconnector is trying to proxy farm, but Yone's done a good job. He's protected the cannon minion, the one thing he needs, and with Demolish available, this turret will stand no chance.
Oh, this turret's about to go down, and finally the base is cracked.
It's an inhib.
It's brutal. Disconnector can't stop the advancements of Yone over here in this top side, so forced to just back off after watching the tower go down. Now just trying to get the complete disengage. This is definitely brutal here, but some backup has arrived. DrewDozer going to try and handle this. Leap of Faith is available for Yone if he wants to pop it, if he wants to turn this around. This is a tough exchange to try and dance with. Some Matador stuff right here when you're challenging Yone.
Drake spawning, and there are two people on top for ISU. TP available for Disconnector. DrewDozer's going to have to walk his way over. He started to do that now, but if they leave this Illaoi on the top side for too long, the Nexus turrets are not out of question here. Good team fight setup as well, capable for UT Austin. If they can find the fight, they can very easily wombo combo people down.
Pushed out. Disconnector still trying to defend here. There's a two-man solar flare. Now going for Cry now. Here comes the Feather Storm. It's able to find two, but it's a 1-for-2 exchange. Cyclone still on the backline. It gets onto Nuclear and destroys Nuclear. GFP, the last remaining survivor on this side of the map, and the base is in shambles. UT Austin, they have a response. It was off the back of Yone on this Illaoi as the minion waves are crashing towards the Nexus.
They get one Nexus turret, super minions coming in. DrewDozer is able to get back to the base and defend the Nexus from going down, but UT Austin win on all fronts. Top lane gets a Nexus turret. The fight around the Dragon, they go 3-for-2, and they get the Dragon. UT Austin are winning on all sides of the map, and it's all because of this top lane. Yone just able to buy so much pressure. It means that DrewDozer has to do the walk. He's not there ready to set up, ready to go in with the team. On that initial solar flare engage, it looked so good. But YellowBumbleBee, all credit to him, because there was an amazing Cyclone here in the backline, and we may well get to see it just yet. You can see that, like, it's just the difference of a couple of seconds. DrewDozer's not here, not in position on Nausicääa's engage right here. Not able to find that Souls Unbound and go for the double up on it. And the bullet time missing, and I'm thinking, okay, this team fight should be very easily won for you, for ISU, but it's just not. YellowBumbleBee in the backline takes down one, takes down the AD carry as well, and with the Conqueror stacked, able to use the Misfortune as well. It's just that little bit of extra juice who's able to take the kill on top of it. Get the Drake off the back of it, and now Yone, he's done his work in the top lane. He's going to head right on down to that bot side to do the same thing, just in time for UT Austin to say, I think that Baron's a good-looking objective.
It's looking so good right now. 28 minutes into this, a 3K lead for UT Austin, but it doesn't really speak to the story that we're seeing. I want to see the gold that has been acquired on Yone so far. I mean, we're almost at Flame Horizon point. Yeoun's about to see a little bit more. Now showing up for the 3v1. There's the knockup, looking for the chain of damage. The leap of faith is going to go out. There's another knockup to go through. Doesn't want the regen to follow. Finally going to fall over in the bot lane. But in the mid lane, Cyclone onto GFP. Trying to survive this onslaught that's coming through. But the double up on the Cyclone will guarantee the kill. Now Nausicääa going forward. Looking at Crine now. There is no backup available. You're still waiting for DrewDozer to be able to jump back into this. Able to bait in just chatting. But Nausicääa has fallen and DrewDozer is on retreat. YellowBumbleBee gonna chase him down. Disconnector coming onto the flank, trying to save his mid laner. Nuclear gonna show up to the fight as well as over the wall, gonna throw down a couple of feathers. Watch out for that laser. A shutdown picked up by DrewDozer. And somehow, some way, Illinois State University, they are hemorrhaging right now, but they are still alive.
And they are just barely keeping themselves in this game. 2 for 2 overall. May not seem like the worst situation, but they're the ones that are really, going for that 3v1 play on the bot side. They had the numbers advantage for the most part. They expended so many ults down in the bot lane to kill Yone that they just can't find that fight successfully in the mid lane. One TP was expended by DrewDozer. Disconnector walked his way up through the bot side jungle to help out the fight. But DrewDozer's level 18 here. We haven't really touched on this. All of these, waves that have been sent back and forth, you'd imagine that Yone would be the one who's, the most benefited with the experience, etc. It's not. DrewDozer level 18, almost 4 items as well. Yone has got past his weak early game power struggle, and at this present time can do an immense amount of work up against an AD carry like Misfortune, who is incredibly immobile.
Is this about to happen, Rude? Is this really going to happen? I'm speculating right now that ISU might find a comeback win, because this is past the 30-minute mark, which is like ISU's territory. This is where they play their best. When they're down, when they're behind, but when they've had time to scale.
And more importantly than the game itself, we're hedging closer and closer to that kills per minute register that you may be able to say it was past 8 minutes, maybe 38. We have not got a fight in the mid lane.
Looking for just chatting. Both supports soaking in a lot of damage as DrewDozer is going to go in, but there is the bullet time. Gets a lot of damage in onto Nuclear, who's left all by his lonesome. A shutdown picked up by Crine now, who is going to hit that level 16 off of that kill. GFP now looking to run away from this one as YellowBumbleBee out of resources to get that crowd control. Lock down these members. Waiting for Richard. Here comes DrewDozer. DrewDozer trying to find the kills. He'll get one onto just chatting. He wants to get Cry now, though. He's looking for more. Can't get onto Cry now. He goes golden. Nausicääa looking for Naas. It's a shutdown found by Cry now. Will it be the cleanup? UT Austin finds it. Naas with the double kill. Somehow, someway, UT Austin fight viciously off the back of Yone in the bot lane, and they'll find the dub. Looking to send this to a series.
If it could be anything, the Academy stream is going to game number 3. Decerux, UT Austin deliver when necessary despite DrewDozer's best efforts. Naas, Cry now, do it. They hold firm in the team fight. Yone in the bot side stays firm and is that power point throughout. And we're forced now to game number 3.
Game 3s across the board, Rude. This is how we play on the Academy stream here today. It's going to be nothing but bangers. And what a performance by Yone to bring us to that Game 3. That control in the top side with this Illaoi, constantly shoving in Disconnector, getting solo kills on Disconnector, hunting alone with that hull breaker, and plate after turret after base was just picked up. Brutal display. Easy MVP of that game, Rude.
Yes, easily. Quite easily as well. Would not have been possible without the Yone performance from that top side. We touched on the gold lead being, 2 to 3k. That was, if you separate top and bot side, it would have been the other way around. I can guarantee you that at some point, Yone had a 5-6k gold lead over Disconnector in that game because the Illaoi had got so much gold funneled into her from the 4 turrets, if you include the Nexus turret that they got in the top side, the few that they managed to get in the bot lane as well. And we saw it, ISU, they were continually finding fights where the Illaoi wasn't and winning out on them. But then the one that mattered, the one in the mid lane just there that ended it all, similar to game number 1, it came down to that one crucial team fight. But this time, Austin take it.
All right, I'm sure Grapes is happy that he's been tagged out. We still got the representation going right here, but we want to throw it over to the analyst desk now for them to break down that game because, my God, you guys got a lot to break down. Dylan, go ahead and take it away.
Thanks for leaving me with it, Decerux. There is so much to break down, man. Another Game 3. just when I thought I was maybe going to eat my first meal of the day.
Let's go, game three,
we're going to game 3, man. It's just gonna be a 9 or 10 hour day on the Academy stream. I'm loving every second of it. I kid. It's honestly been so much fun. And so much to happen in this game. Unfortunately, no replays, but we do have just so much to talk about. Let's start with the draft first of all, and I want to pick both of your brains on different parts of this draft. TJ, I know that there were some picks that came out. Obviously, nothing like the Zed, but we kind of got the his brother Yone coming through in this draft. Just overall, your thoughts on both ISU and UT's comps.
Sure, so Yone is one of DrewDozer's main characters, so it's no surprise to see him play it, but I'm a little disappointed to see it played in this game. It looks a little weird here. It doesn't really, to me, look like a winning champion. I'm most interested in the fact that UT picked Illaoi, our second Illaoi of the day, able to do a bunch of work, and again, a little disappointed that ISU has selected AP Gragas top lane. Really not sure how we thought that was the win condition, not gonna lie. And I do think that's in part because of the Yone mid, because then maybe you don't have to have an AP top laner. Finally, not sure the Xin Zhao is working out. It's not like it's been terrible, but it hasn't done as much as it needs to, I think, to justify like a first pick in draft, when I think there's some other stable options that maybe can offer a little bit more, or just, oh my god, the dog, or just change the way the game is played, right? Like maybe something like interesting like Kindred, where it adjusts what's going on. Tyler, why don't you take it while he does his thing?
Yeah, I think this draft, I think ISU just kind of needs to go a little bit back to the drawing board. It feels like they had a new blind they wanted to play. They wanted to pick the blind Gragas this time to try and give them a little bit of damage flexibility, as we talked about, so we could give them an AP threat, because Yone is a little bit more AD than AP. And they have the lead Zayah, obviously, but it just kind of feels like ISU's blinding a lot of their champions that are pretty important. And then the counter pick this game, which was the Yone, which was supposed to give them a nice advantage, I feel like is already inherently kind of countered by a lot of what UT Dallas brought to the table. I feel like Wukong does really well team fighting and peeling away the Yone. It feels really hard to maximize your damage on Yone when there's a Wukong just sitting on top of MF ready to ult. And on top of that, like, I feel like Maokai itself, like, he can just throw his ulti onto a team fight when Yone's looking to go in, and then Yone has to respect that and back off. And Exhaust is also super good against him. So I feel like in general, as you mentioned, Yone it just wasn't the counter pick that ISU needed here. And it really punished them because they blinded everywhere else. Like, they just have no good matchups anywhere else. And so now you're just stuck with a Yone mid who can't really maximize that much of an advantage when it's your counter pick. And I think they really need to go back to the drawing board. Maybe jumping to red side might be good for them. It might give them more options to counterpick in some of their lanes and not have such volatile matchups like they had this game.
One question I have for you, TJ, talking about this Illaoi that you highlighted, we obviously saw Illaoi in our last series, and it didn't go so well, but this Illaoi felt like it was very dominating this game. It was such a pressure point for the side of UT Dallas. What do you think was the difference in this game? Was it like player skill difference? Was it, the way the team set up for it? What do you think made the difference for the Illaoi to be so powerful?
I wouldn't necessarily say that Illaoi went poorly in the previous game. I just don't think that U of T played as well around it as UT just did. And so I do think that maybe Disconnector hasn't played against Illaoi very much at all, being an AD carry role swap, and maybe didn't understand exactly what was going on there. But it's been able to generate a lot of pressure in both of these games, I think, just by going through the side and just requiring a lot of members to kill. Because remember, as you have to send, 2, 3, 4 members down to kill her, that means they're not doing other things. We did see a successful play where they brought down the Leona, and then she died almost instantly, like just in a guaranteed way, because Illaoi couldn't cast any of her spells. So I would like to see, if the Illaoi comes out again, some more lockdown if you're going to go to the side. Otherwise, just ignore it, allow her to take her one turret early in the game, the second turret later in the game, and then just win a team fight. If you're stacking the dragons, you're pressuring third, fourth dragon, well, the Illaoi splits on second turret, who cares?
Yeah, I will say also Illaoi, this game was much better into the champions that ISU brought to the table rather in the game that we saw prior. I feel like in general, ISU's comp was pretty short range. They didn't exactly have a lot of ways to outrange Illaoi, which is one of her biggest weaknesses. If you outrange her, there's really nothing she can do. She just has to try and split push. But the fact that they had Yone and like lethality Xayah and Xin Zhao and Gragas and Leona, all these champions that really want to engage, dive in, doing a lot of damage that way, like Illaoi's really good against that. She just sits there, and if you go on her, she ults, and then you can't go there anymore. And now a lot of your team fight's gone, and they can use their range advantage. So I think on top of Illaoi looking much more coordinated, as you mentioned, TJ, I think this game was just significantly better into what ISU brought to the table. It's a really good 5th pick in this specific draft.
And that's one of the reasons that, I mean, we've been talking about it all day. We love watching collegiate, right? You don't see this kind of stuff on the LCS stage. You don't even really see it on the academy or amateur stage sometimes. It's only in collegiate where you get some of these spicy pocket picks. We've seen Zed. We've seen Illaoi a couple of times now. I want to keep it coming. The Heimerdinger's been banned, but it exists. I want to see that pulled out for UT Dallas. Maybe they have to shift around some bans. We are going to throw to a short break before we kick it to our casters. And another game 3. We made it. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to see how it goes, but it's going to be wonderful. I'll see you guys soon.